Alright, now that we've discussed the magic of what a comp is, let me talk about how we can prepare files that you may have, and these could be any kind of photograph. It could be a picture of a pet, it could be a person, it could be a sunset, it doesn't really matter. Once you see this little secret here, you'll be able to prepare your files so you can do some compositing. So this is the after. And the reason I started with this is because people who don't use Photoshop or aren't familiar with it are a little confused sometimes by these little checkerboards back here. Well, this is Photoshop's way of telling you that there's transparency here. These don't actually print. So this is just a nice way to say, hey, this is completely transparent. So now that we know that, I'm going to go to the original file that I had here and show you how you can easily prepare something like this. Now the easiest way is when you have a character or something that is going to be very easy for you to grab this tool here, the magic wand tool, and you might see this tool here, the quick select tool. Just choose magic wand and then click in the area that's going to have the same color. Alright, so let's say, well, this is all white, right? And the character has a black outline. So when I click, the little marching ants are going to go everywhere that it sees this white color and is not interrupted. But there are parts here that, like inside of this part of the character, where I have to hold down the shift key to grab inside of that. Or I can go up here to this icon, and when I click on this, I don't have to hit the shift key. I can simply click in another region and it will add this to my selection. Alright, so everything that has the marching ants, alright, is selected. What does this mean exactly? Well, this means that if I wanted to paint, let me grab my paint bucket tool, or rather my paint tool, and I click and drag, whatever's inside of that boundary is protected. So I can't paint on this cowboy, only the outside. But what we want the cowboy itself. We don't want the outside. So we have to go to Select, Inverse. This takes our selection and it flips it inside out. So if I were to paint now, we are painting the cowboy, which means we actually have him selected and not the background. I'm going to undo that. Now this is the secret part. This is the fun part. So I'm going to go to Edit, Copy. Now let me tell you a little something about Photoshop. Photoshop is smart enough to recognize the size of whatever it is that you copied. So when we paste it, it will give us the right document size. So we can go to File, New, and Photoshop knows our selection boundary. So we say, okay, thanks Photoshop. But what I want to do, this is the part here, that's the very important part. Make sure your background contents are transparent. You have the choice of white, the background color, which is whatever this back swatch is, or transparent. Click OK, and go to Edit, Paste. Now you can see that the cowboy has a transparent background. And now he's ready to go into After Effects after we save it in the right format. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to choose Save, or you could choose Save As. And then, as you see here in the format, it says TIFF. We don't want that. We want PNG. So I'm going to save this to my desktop. I just call it cowboy2.png. Alright? Click Save, and another window will pop up asking you your interlacing options. Interlacing is a way that the file unfolds on the web. You have none and interlaced. And think of it like a window shade. You know, you have those blinds and you twist that little wand and it opens up. Well, the image loads like that, but it's so fast these days you don't even see it. Back in the day, I remember actually watching images unfold in the browser. So I'm going to choose none, and now that file is ready to go. I'm going to go to the saloon image now and do the same thing. So I'll double click on this hand tool, and let's say we wanted this background not to be here. Well, we have another way we can do this. So I'm going to unlock that layer, and I'm going to grab this tool here called the lasso, although you can use the pen tool or whatever you're comfortable with, and I'm simply going to sloppily, and I say that because I just want to quickly do this to show you how you can prepare a file that you want to have a window cut out of. Grab a magic wand tool or grab your lasso tool or any tool that's going to allow you to create a selection like this. Alright. Oh, by the way, as a little plug, if you are not familiar with Photoshop, there is a great tutorial on the VTC website, and you check that out and you can learn how to use Photoshop. So I'm going to I have this selected, I'll hit delete on my keyboard, and that's gone, right? So what I could do is, since it's already transparent, I can simply save this as a PNG file, and this will be transparent, so that if we had on a different document, let's go ahead and create a new document. All right, I'll just randomly create one. Let's say we create an ellipse. I'll hold down the Shift key when I draw this to get a constrained ellipse, and I can grab this yellow color here. I go to Edit, Fill, with the, let's see here, foreground color. And now we have a sun also on a transparent layer, so I would go ahead and save this as sun.png. So I'd have several elements now that I can actually composite. And when I go back to After Effects, I'd have a saloon in a middle layer probably. The sun would be behind or underneath the saloon. Clouds would probably be in front of the sun layer. If you had any rain, that would be probably in front of your sky layer. And then you have a layer for the sky. So as you can see, a composite can get a little tricky because you're doing a lot of juggling. What goes where? It's really easy. Just simply drag the stuff around until you get it where you want. But after a while, you'll know by looking at that layer stack that this thing should be in front of it. So don't forget, the top of the stack in After Effects is the thing closest to our eye, and the thing all the way on the bottom is the furthest. So if our star of the show is the cowboy, he should be up here. And if the furthest thing is the sky, it should be way down here, followed by the clouds, sun, rain, saloon, then cowboy, like that. So hopefully that will help you out and get you started on the right track to preparing your files for compositing inside of After Effects.